Hey guys, so here with an update post-transplant. So my transplant was on November 9th. I spoke to you guys earlier that day. I was super excited, my whole family was. There was tears, there was prayers, there was laughter, there was singing, dancing, a little bit of everything. It was really amazing. I'm so happy that I even had an opportunity to be a part of something like that. And so now, the transplant itself, as you may or may not know, it's actually very I say unremarkable because people think transplant, they think that they're cutting a bone graft or something like that, but it's actually just a stem cell infusion. So it's like getting a transfusion. If you've ever had a bag of blood, it's essentially the same thing, but it's a bag of stem cells. It took about an hour to maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and you kind of just sit there. We hung out, we laughed, danced to our favorite music and all of that kind of stuff. It was really fun. But then I didn't really feel anything. They do mention that sometimes during transplant people feel, or they taste like a metallic taste in their mouth. I did experience that, and the nurse came prepared. She had a mint for me to have. Yeah, she was ready, well equipped for that. She obviously has done lots of transplants. Other than that, she just kept repeatedly taking my vitals, cycling vitals, and then constantly asking if I felt anything different than before or before we started. And for me, I kept on just thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, did my eye feel different? Does my head feel different? Just thinking of so many different things. But in reality, I felt fine up until probably, I think she had mentioned there was probably about 20-25 minutes left in the treatment, or in the stem cell infusion, and somehow I started to feel really cold, and I already had a heated blanket on, so I asked someone to turn it on. So they turned the heating blanket on from low to medium to high, and I still was so cold, shaking. And then it got to the point that I was, I don't know if you ever heard of Rigers is what they call it, but it looked like I was convulsing. My whole body was shaking, my teeth were chattering, like I was shaking uncontrollably. It was pretty scary, probably for those people watching around me, all of my family that was there, and also for myself, because I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was some type of bad reaction. So they covered me in blankets and they were pushing meds. To be honest with you, I don't remember the meds they were giving me because I was definitely with it. I knew exactly what was going on, but I was just so cold and just focused on only that, just praying and hoping that that would go away. So eventually it did go away. Probably lasted for a total of maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour, I think it lasted. And then afterwards, I was okay, but I did eventually develop a very piercing headache, which almost reminded me of the same type of strong piercing headache that is it's light sensitive, it's sound sensitive, it's the worst type of headache, or even a migraine, if you will, that I had when I had the radiation. So it was very similar to that. And that headache, they had given me Tylenol, they had tried morphine, PO, or by mouth, it didn't work. They had eventually they had to give me morphine IV to control a headache. Imagine that, it was quite intense. And so they did that, and eventually after 5 hours, it went away and I could finally open my eyes and turn on the lights in the hospital room, because other than that, I was very sensitive. My whole family was sitting there at my bedside in the dark. But that's pretty much how transplant day went. Pretty much after transplant, the next day, they do their normal assessment and all of that stuff on you, nothing different. They had just kind of told me that, oh, well, if you're feeling well enough, maybe we'll let you go out on pass, because my blood levels they've been dropping slowly. The red cells, your white cells, and your platelets slowly are dropping every day from the chemotherapy and the radiation, but I haven't quite hit, I don't know, the rock bottom they talk about, where you're very neutropenic and you don't have any white cells to protect yourself, so they weren't worried about that. So they actually had let me go home for a couple days. So I'm here at the condo with my mom, so it's nice that I don't have to sit in the hospital the entire time, especially when you're not feeling that well. Some of the symptoms that I've been experiencing now in the last, I guess, days since transplant has still been headache, nausea, vomiting, yes, some intermittent diarrhea, bloating. Especially, I've noticed that my appetite is very low. I'm not very hungry right now. I don't really crave the foods, even my favorite foods that we're making, they don't taste well. I'm noticing that my taste is changing. I don't have any mouth sores or anything like that yet, knock on wood, hopefully it stays that way, but I'm finding that as time goes on, the foods that I love are becoming less and less enjoyable, and my drive to eat and drive to drink and get up and do things are kind of slowly plummeting. Definitely noticed my energy level is very low. We went for about just a small walk, probably 15 minutes, just to like these benches outside the condo and back, and I was exhausted. Felt like I ran a marathon. But my mom is trying to get me out of the house and at least see outside or get me up every day, or else I would probably just stay in my bed. That's why I haven't been doing my daily updates as I have been hoping to do. Your day, although you're doing absolutely nothing, somehow your day passes you by. If it's that you're just sitting there thinking about your stomach hurting, or you're taking meds, or you're sleeping, I'm not really sure, but my days have been definitely passing by. I can't even believe it. I am already day 4, or I guess, day +4 post-transplant. This is amazing to say, but yeah, that's how my first little bit of transplant has been, and hopefully, slowly, I will start to feel a little bit better, have a little bit more energy, but it is only the beginning, so I'm definitely getting ready for this wild ride. Alright, I thought I would make a video here and show you guys what type of meds I'm taking right now. So I am taking folic acid, 5 milligrams. I kind of have always been taking this one, so this is no different from before transplant. I have this valacyclovir, which is an antiviral medication. It's 500 milligrams, and I likely will be on this for 1 to 2 years, or pretty much until I can get my immunizations again, which might not be for a while. I have this fluconazole, and they're 100 milligram tablets, and I'm on a 400 milligram dose, so I'm taking 4 of those tablets. Thankfully, they're small and they're easy to go down. And then I also have here the sirolimus. So the sirolimus is the important one. Sirolimus, I'm taking on, well, I guess they're 1 milligram tablets, but I'm on a 2 milligram dose right now as it stands. And this one is my anti-rejection drug. This is the most important one because I do not want to reject my transplant or get graft versus host disease. That's supposed to protect you against that. So those are the morning medications that I take for 8/9 o'clock. Then here, I also have penicillin that I take later on. Penicillin is my evening 8 o'clock med, and that is just my antibiotic. And my dose for the penicillin is 300 milligrams. So those are kind of all of my scheduled meds. The other meds that I'm taking right now, I have Zofran for nausea. They've just given me the 8 milligram tablets, and you can take 1 every 8 hours. And then I have Gravel as well, the 50 milligram tablets, and I can take these. I'm pretty sure these ones are every 4 hours, 1 to 2 tabs. And then I have some morphine for pain if I do run into any type of sickle cell crises or just some of the bone pain that comes along with the transplant. I have 5 and 10 milligram tablets to take, and those ones are, it says 1 to 3 tablets every 2 hours, but really it's 5 to 15 milligrams is the dosage we're looking for. But yeah, those are some of the medications that I am taking right now, and hopefully I will update you guys later. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment below or message me, anything like that, and I'd be happy to try and answer any of the questions. They would definitely be based on my personal experience. I'm not an expert on transplant or anything, but if you do have any questions about transplant or about what happened to me during transplant, definitely feel free to ask. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.